UFC 308 was this weekend, and after that card, I have been seeing a bunch of unkept glaze, fire hydrants, of you will, of glaze coming out for Khamzat Chimaev. People saying that Khamzat is back. This I'm gonna kill everyone, brother. Guy is back. But after looking at that performance, am I the only guy who was questioning the legitimacy of that performance? I know the Robert Whitaker got face cranked in the first round, but when looking at all the variables that were going in this fight, it kind of looks like Khamzat Chimaev was kind of gifted this win from the heavens, whatever he believes in. And I think that the glaze is low-key not that credible. I know finishing Robert Whitaker in the first round is good, but let me tell you why that shit's not as impressive as you think. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that Sean Strickland should be skipped in the title race, but Sean Strickland's coming off. I'll give you my reasons in a sec, but I'm just going to be telling you why that shit's not valid. Seen a lot of glaze, man, and guys like Lucas Tracy, guys like MMA Guru, and don't get me wrong, I think that was a great performance. Watching a Khamzat fight that ends in the first round, you'll always just say that Khamzat's like the best fighter of all time. But when looking at that fight, you will see that Khamzat kind of lucked out with that finish. So let me get you my reasons why. So the Khamzat conundrum. So when looking at that Robert Whitaker fight, we can see that he tapped only because of his bottom teeth. When going to this video, I'm going to pull up real quick. We are going to be able to see that Robert Whitaker explain what happened with his teeth. And yeah, let me just play for you.
How do you feel health-wise? How's your teeth?
I'm alright. Like, it wasn't the jaws, the teeth. The teeth got pushed in. I've always had the kind of like loose teeth, and they got looser. So it's a face crank.
So talking about the submission that he had, it was a face crank. Let me pull up the finish right here. Khamzat is low-key on the blue, but hey man, we're diving into this, bro. When looking at that finish right here, we can see that it wasn't under the chin, it was just on the chin. It ended up snapping Robert Whitaker's teeth backwards, and immediately after Robert Whitaker tapped, everyone was confused on what happened, and after seeing that, after seeing what Robert Whitaker explained, I am going to conclude that Robert Whitaker got jump scared by the teeth that was moving in his mouth. I can totally get that. I'm the average human being. I definitely would not withstand that shit. But Robert Whitaker, I think he got jump scared, felt the movement, immediately tapped. The crank wasn't even in yet. It wasn't like a Conor McGregor type face crank where his entire neck is getting ripped off and his face is getting pulled a different way. It was just a split second, something dislocated. And let me show you what Robert explains in a second. But
Straight on the bottom tooth. I didn't have a moment to turn the head or anything. It was just like, it was just on. It was on.
he's gonna explain in a sec how it wasn't the jaw.
But I mean, is it just like an unfortunate moment, or is it just like...
I don't know.
Also, what the fuck is that question? Was it just an unfortunate moment? No, actually, it was a pretty good moment, dude. Like, what did you want him to answer in that question? Like, I know these are normal guys. We should give them a break, but I don't know. Like, UFC reporters, I feel like, are just some of the most brain-dead people you've ever, like, heard in your life. That's the question you'll ask? Like, I don't know, man.
Like, if I didn't have such vulnerable teeth, maybe I would have had another second to turn my head. Or maybe not.
I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, if I didn't have so vulnerable teeth, I could have, like, turned my head around. Like, I think that meant that, I mean, if his teeth wouldn't have snapped, he would have kept on trying to fight it, and he would have had time to, like, move. I think he just got startled. That's just my take on it. Like, leave your take down below.
I just got caught in a bad position, and the rest is history.
It happened.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it wasn't the jaw
bottom teeth,
part.
They're vulnerable. It's my Achilles heel. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, like, looking at this, like, Whitaker, I'm so bummed that I picked Whitaker to win this. He doesn't look like he cares. I know he got a good check, and I'm happy for him, but, man, I thought he could pull it off. But I know the face crank hurts. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but I don't know. I don't think his face was cranked.
When I fought crickets as well, and they've never really recovered.
Okay, so yeah, you guys get it. It wasn't the jaw, but he tapped because of his bottom teeth. Robert Whitaker, you know, just explain that. Khamzat, he was kind of back to Khamzat. He was putting on pretty much the same performance. When watching that first round, I was pretty much in the conclusion where Khamzat Chimaev is about get ran through in these next few rounds. Like, he was doing the exact same thing as Usman. He wasn't spending as much energy, but it was pretty much the same scrambles. Whitaker was just hugging the fence. He was trying not to give up his back because Khamzat's low-key a rear naked choke merchant. And he eventually did a couple times give up his back, but Whitaker was able to fight out of that. And that was like the most impressive part. Whitaker was able to fight out of these positions until that one face crank that wasn't really locked in all the way, but his teeth, you know the spiel. But all I'm saying is that was a very similar performance in that first round to the Usman fight. I think Usman did a better job of just not getting taken down. He was way easier to be able to get back up. Whitaker, though, I think it was just unfortunate. If he would have survived, I know this is probably copium to some of you, but I think if he would have survived the first two, I think he's going on to win that shit. I mean, Khamzat really wasn't doing much ground and pound. It wasn't like he was like switching from submission to submission. It wasn't like he was like doing any lethal ground and pound. It was just kind of like hug him and just like wait till you get the back and then wait till you can manhandle him. And I think he did that. But I think it was pretty, I don't know, I think it was pretty Allah based. I think it was pretty lucky. Another thing, I think that Khamzat's like aura, like if you're really gonna call this guy like the same Khamzat who like put away Lee Jingliang, I just like don't think you can do that anymore. I mean, he's getting to the top level and he's just over and over again. I know he's still dominant, still getting top position, he's still doing amazing things, but I just think that he's just unable to get these submissions. He's unable to like be that much of a dominant force. A lot of people, Whitaker, if you rewatch that fight, he was scrambling out of a lot of these positions. There was a lot of times where Khamzat had him in like full mount and Whitaker would just explode. And I didn't really expect that from Whitaker. I thought if Khamzat got a bad position, it was toast for Whitaker. So I just think, I mean, I know it was a good performance and I know the face crank, it's not his fault that happened, but I just think that, I mean, if you put him in there with Duplessis, everyone is talking about how Khamzat Chimaev, his aura's back and he's about to win the middleweight championship. The prophecy is back. But come on, dude. I mean, Dricus Duplessis with his amazing pressure, with his great takedown defense, do you really think that he's going to, like, succumb to just, like, a little bit of manhandling? Like, this is the thing, too. It wasn't like Khamzat had, like, I know it was a face crank, I know it was a good technique, and I know it was, like, valid, but I think if Robert Whitaker would have fought for at least 2 seconds, he would have scrambled out of there, and he would have definitely gotten up, but the teeth moved, and I think that scared him, made him tap, and Khamzat luckily got the win. But when looking at people saying Khamzat should get the title shot, I saw Lucas Tracy making that argument. I just think Sean Strickland has 2 of equally good wins while making it closer than than Khamzat Chimaev. When looking at their past 2 fights, Duplessis beat Adesanya, Sean Strickland beat Adesanya and lost to Duplessis, even though it was a very controversial decision. And Khamzat Chimaev, he beat Whitaker, while, in my opinion, losing to Usman. When looking back on the fight, I haven't seen a single person say that Khamzat Chimaev won that fight, so I'm just going to say Usman won. When looking at this, I just don't think that Sean Strickland is really someone you can say that, oh yeah, like, you can kick him out just because he had a boring fight with Paulo Costa and he's being a bit of a crybaby on Twitter. I think you can still just put him in at the title shot after having a win over the middleweight GOAT, or that might be a little far. Yeah, one of the best middleweights in Israel Adesanya. He just came off a win with Paulo Costa after barely losing to Duplessis. We have to give him, and I know they're gonna say fuck that, but dude, I'm gonna be honest. The Khamzat versus Duplessis fight, it can wait. I think that the Sean Strickland-Duplessis fight was pretty entertaining. I think Duplessis pushing forward and trying to knock him out is a more entertaining thing than Khamzat just rubbing you up against the fence and trying to get that back and trying to manhandle you and trying to, like, just, like, fucking Myrtlebeck oral by fucking caveman fucking submit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just think that Sean Strickland, just based on resume, just based on, I know the Paulo Costa fight was boring, but just, it wasn't like he's putting on these Marab type of performances. I mean, just like recency bias would make you think that Sean Strickland is doing these like silly ass Boscherot performances, but it's not like that. It's just one performance where Paulo Costa, I'm not saying Paulo Costa was a problem there. I think definitely Sean Strickland being tentative was, but um, yeah, I think it was just one fight, and I don't think just because of one just unlucky fucking. I'm not gonna call what happened to Robert Whitaker unlucky, but you're not gonna tell me because of one silly submission where he wasn't even like really there. It wasn't really that. The like, let's go back to the face grind here. I know it was locked in, but you're telling me he cannot. The hooks aren't in fully. He's hanging off of the side of him. This is just manhandle Dagestani strength on the chin. And I completely get why he tapped. That shit is probably really painful. I'm a bitch. I can't lie. I wouldn't do better, but are we really going to say that a fluky kind of win like this, where he's just pushing in the teeth, not even breaking the jaw, are we really going to give him the fucking title over a former champion who just went like 5 rounds super close? All I'm saying, man. The Khamzat conundrum. I do think it was a good fight. I do think it was a good performance. I'm not saying that it was a bad performance or we should take anything away from Khamzat because of the Robert Whitaker injury. I'm just saying everyone is blowing this guy back to the I'm going to kill everybody guy, but I just don't think it's like that. He was going into a similar fight of the Usman fight, and I was enjoying him doing a lot more, trying to get into a lot better positions, but Robert Whitaker completely just negated that until that silly happening. But yeah, good for you having that Dagestani strength, that silly shit. Yeah, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more, and yeah.